and the 1.6 update, there's yet another set of collectibles to find. Books. Some of these give permanent buffs to almost every part of the game. Others give you experience to help you hit those new mastery levels, or hit level 10 fishing without even touching a rod. But they can be pretty difficult to find, and sometimes their effect descriptions are vague. So I'm going to tell you how to find every book and how exactly they're used. To start, we're going to go over the Bookseller. It's located north of the Joja Mart building and it appears twice a month. There's a small range of days that it can be open and you can check the calendar in front of the general store for the exact days. Here you can find almost every book in the game but for a pretty steep price, and there's also no guarantee the book you need is stocked in the first place. So if you can avoid it, I would recommend getting books elsewhere. With that said, here's the books that are exclusive to the Bookseller. These are always stocked with just a few exceptions. The price catalog is pure quality of life. The price you see is how much you'll get for selling that stack of items, and it already includes any increases from professions or anything like that. Way of the Wind Parts 1 and 2 both give a 0.25 speed buff, and Part 2 is only available after buying Part 1. Added together, it's a 10% increase to your normal running speed, which is kind of hard to imagine, but essentially it's like half of the coffee speed buff. Horse the Book is another speed buff, this time only active while riding the horse. It's another half point of speed, and keep in mind, the Way of the Wind buffs also apply to while you're on a horse, so altogether, it's like you have coffee active all the time, which you can then of course stack with another coffee buff. Ol' Slitherlegs reduces the movement penalty you have when walking through crops or grass. Normally you'll have -1 speed while walking through them. With this book, it's now -0.33 speed, which is still a noticeable decrease, but just barely. Now the Queen of Sauce cookbook is a little complicated. It teaches you all of the Queen of Sauce recipes, but it only appears once you've collected 100 golden walnuts on Ginger Island. And the book is sold regardless of if you have all of the recipes or not. How do you know if you have all the recipes? Well, it's kinda hard to tell from the collections page since they're all scattered about. But if you check the Queen of Sauce reruns on Sunday, it'll always give you a recipe you didn't have before. If it gives you a recipe you do already have, that means you have them all. Otherwise, you can just keep watching on Sundays to knock them all out. I think the only way I could recommend this book is if you got the 100 walnuts and up to that point, you hadn't checked the Queen of Sauce at all, because then you're getting possibly 24 recipes at once. But if you were only missing like 5 recipes, it'd kinda suck to pay 50,000 gold for that. And that concludes the books exclusive to the Bookseller. All other books only have a chance of popping up. Some are more likely than others, but all of them are expensive. With that done, let's go over all of the other books. Our first one is Mapping Cave Systems. You can find this in this box at the back of the Adventurers Guild. This room only opens up after slaying 1,000 monsters altogether, and you can keep track of that by adding up whatever's on the Slayer board. So when your HP is knocked down to 0, you're going to lose a random clump of items, and you have the opportunity to get just 1 stack of those items back by paying the same price you would have gotten if you sold those items. With this book, you only have to pay 50% of the sell price, so then it's always profitable to recover it. You'll also see that there's an experience amount in the effect square. This is the effect if you've already read the book before. In the case of this book, the only way you're going to get another one is if you buy it from the Bookseller. But for a lot of the books we're going to talk about, they're random drops and you probably will get multiples, such as the Monster Compendium. It's randomly dropped from any monster starting at just a 0.01% chance, or about 1 in 10,000. But for every monster you kill, that chance increases by 0.015%. Until you get the drop for the first time, where it's then always a 0.05% chance or 1 in 2,000. And I know that sounds low, but you kill a lot of monsters in this game. Now that is a lot of information to take in. For the most part, all books that drop from random chance work this way. An initial chance that slowly increases until the first drop, then a steady rate after that. From now on, I'm just gonna give that initial percent chance because everything else is kind of just extra noise. The end result is the same, do the thing to get the drop. So, the Monster Compendium has a 3% chance to double drops from monsters. This does stack with the same 50% chance of the Burglar's Ring, but not in the way you'd expect. You don't just have a 53% chance to double loot now. You have a 50% chance to double loot, then another 3% chance to double loot, meaning you could get 4 times the loot if you're lucky, which is better than just a simple 53% chance to double. Friendship 101 is found in the prize machine in Lewis's house. You get tickets either from doing 3 regular requests from the board outside of the general store, or 1 special request from the special orders board. The book will always be the 9th item you get, and it just straight up increases increases all friendship gain from then on by 10%, which is quite a bit if it's, say, an iridium loved gift on their birthday. That's an extra 96 points of friendship, which for reference is more than the 80 points you get for giving someone a regular quality loved gift on a regular day. Jack be Nimble, Jack be Thick is found in any artifact spot, and it starts at a 0.8% chance, or 1 in 125 spots. The 1 permanent defense it gives equates to 1 point of damage taken off every time you get hit. It's really good in the early game, but pretty negligible later in the game. Woody's Secret drops from trees starting at a 0.03% chance, or 1 in 3,333 trees. And the effect sounds straightforward, but it acts a little weird. It does double the extra 25% wood you would get from the forester profession. It doesn't double the hardwood you get from lumberjack, but it does double the hardwood you get normally from a mahogany tree. It also doesn't apply to stumps or logs, just trees. The Raccon Journal is your reward for completing the second request from the raccoons, after which you can trade 999 fiber if you want another. It gives a 4% extra chance for mixed seeds or flower seeds to drop from cutting weeds. This is an increase from 5% to 9%, and if you didn't know, mixed flower seeds are only dropped during the summer, so if you want to maximize your seedage, cut them then. Also, I don't care how much fiber you have, 999 of it is not worth the 100 experience you'd get in foraging. Jewels of the Sea can be found in fishing chests, increasing from 2% of the time. It gives you a 25% chance to find 1 to 6 row of whatever fish you just caught in a fishing chest. This is good incentive to really go for those treasure chests on the harder fish, since row is based on the sell price of the fish itself. If you got 6 row from a chest while you were catching the legend, that would sell for a whopping 15,000 gold, which is more than the legend itself sells for. The Dwarvish safety manual is just bought from the dwarf, and it's a lot cheaper for what you'd buy it for at the bookseller, making it a relatively cheap source of mining experience as well. With it, bombs now deal 25% less damage to you. This includes any bombs that you drop, explosive ammo from your slingshot, and the explosions of hotheads in the volcano. But it's definitely the most noticeable with mega bombs, which deal the most damage to you and are the hardest to get out of the blast radius of. The Ardo crabbing is obtained by getting the highest reward from Squidfest on either winter 12th or 13th. It's given to you alongside whatever other reward you earned. It's worth mentioning that it is easier to get on the first day of Squidfest, since you only need to catch 8 squid instead of 10. It gives a 25% chance to give double yield from crab pots. And if you didn't know, wild bait also gives a 25% chance for a double yield from crab pots. And these two effects stack similarly to the way Monster Compendium stacks with the Burglar's Ring. The book gives a 25% chance to double, then the wild bait gives another 25% chance to double, possibly giving you 4 times the items. You only get the experience of 1 catch though. The Alleyway Buffet is hidden in this weird spot to the right of the blacksmith, and you need at least a steel axe and a steel pickaxe to reach it. With the book, you get a multiplicative 20% increase to the chance of getting trash from trash cans, which the chance itself is dependent on your daily luck. There are some notable trash cans to utilize this on that give unique items. The saloon gives a bunch of random foods, the movie theater can give free movie tickets, Clint's drops coal, copper, or iron ore, and the museum can drop geodes. The Diamond Hunter is only bought from the Volcano Dwarf for 10 diamonds. Unlike most other books, it never shows up at the bookseller. But if you want multiples, you can trade 10 diamonds for it once every day. It gives absolutely every rock in the game an extra 0.66% chance to drop a diamond. And it does benefit from the 50% chance to get an extra drop from the geologist profession. Combine this with the 30% increased price from gemologist, and it's a pretty nice chunk of extra money from mining. Specifically, on average, you get an extra 9.65 gold for every rock you break if you have those 2 professions. Not bad for some passive money while you're mining. The Book of Mysteries is only available from an increasing 1% drop from mystery boxes, or a 2% drop from gold mystery boxes if you have foraging mastery. Once again, it never shows up at the bookseller. Now, I broke open about 500 golden mystery boxes to try and find a book just to show for footage. Interestingly enough, this is one of the books that goes down down in spawn rate after you've found the first one. It's halved, and that's not taking into account the fact that the chance increases for your first drop for every mystery box you open, so it's in there, I promise. But you might have trouble finding it after your first drop. It gives the drop chance of all mystery boxes from all sources a multiplicative 33.3% increase. And if you're wondering what the best way of grinding out mystery boxes is, I found it to be slaying monsters, since that's the only source that can be increased by both daily luck and luck buffs. So if you're slaying monsters on a perfect luck day with as many luck buffs as you can stack, you can get over a 10% chance drop from every monster. The treasure appraisal guide is huge. You gotta get fairly lucky from treasure troves at around a 3.57% chance, or about 1 in 300, but the 3 times increase in artifact price is huge, mostly because dinosaur eggs count as artifacts, and they're the only artifacts that can be iridium quality. An iridium dinosaur egg with the treasure appraisal guide sells for 2,100 gold, almost 1,000 gold more than if you made it into dinosaur mayo with the artisan profession. Combine that again with the golden animal cracker to double the amount of eggs a dinosaur makes, and you're raking in money. Most other artifacts don't really sell for much, but you can still make a decent profit by blowing up the bone nodes on Ginger Island every few days. And with it, artifact troves can be profitable, but it's no guarantee when you're giving up a mystic syrup for each one. And last but certainly not least, the animal catalog. This is just a one-time purchase from Marnie for 5,000 gold starting in year 2, and it allows you to always use her shop given you can get into the building. Normally she's closed on Mondays and Tuesdays, which you probably don't know because the game just says closed some days. Real cool, but now you'll never have to worry about that again. Normally after 6 p.m. you're not able to enter the building at all, but if you combine this with the key to the town that you get from doing key quests on Ginger Island, you have a shop that's open 24/7. Now there is one last group of books, the experienced books. All of these can be, for the most part, found in the same way, and they all give 250 experience in their given skill. Woodcutter Weekly is the only one that's sold at the Desert Festival, which it's kind of the least thematically fitting one for that area, but all right. And the Book of Stars, which is special because it actually gives the most experience of any book for a total of 1,250, is only obtained either from the 5th Raccoon quest or onwards, mystery boxes, or bought from the bookseller for 15,000 gold, which honestly, this is one that I could see picking up. 1,250 experience is a pretty good deal, and could be huge for reaching those mastery goals. It's also worth mentioning that none of these books show up in the Powers tab because they're not permanent effects. This is also actually true of the Queen of Sauce book as well. And there's one last thing to talk about, the trade-ins. You can trade in certain books to the bookseller for another item, and there's some really good ones in here. For any of the ones that have more than one type of item offered, it randomly changes day to day, so if it's not the item you want, come back the next time the bookseller's around. The Monster Compendium is probably the biggest one, giving a slime egg press or an incubator, which are normally pretty hard to craft, the slime incubator especially costing 2 iridium bars. The treasure appraisal guide that you get from artifact troves can give you 3 more artifact troves in return, and the 8 fairy dust from the Book of Stars is just nice to have on hand just in case. And that will about do it. Now, I did exclude some very fine details because I didn't want this to be information overload, but this is enough to get you going. And one last thing, you've probably heard the Stardew and Chill album because I use it in every single guide video. Well, Coffee Date has released a second Stardew and Chill album, which I used in this video, so now I'm spoiled for choice of what songs to use. I'm very lucky that they allow people to use the songs in videos as long as they get credit, so from now on, you're going to see both the first and the second album linked in the description. Thank you for watching, see you in the next one, and good night.